Yeah, I noticed that, a lot of things in our life, like, doesn't make any sense. Like we have had to rethink like everything that we do. Like if you work at an office, they're told you have to work at home. So it isn't doesn't that prove that why do we need to be at an office? Like there's so many people at that company that you don't even need. Like the boss, the supervisor, the president, the janitor. You know, if you work from your home, you don't even need these positions. So, and guess what? If you work from home, you'll be more closer to your family because this is the goal people want is to be closer, be always connected to their family. The family is always there in the family structure. So, and it's either rethinking certain types of things, certain types of things that we don't need, like education, right? Right now, you have to have your kids at home. That means you have to homeschool your kids. You have to teach your kids. Now you can't complain no more about how the education system is not teaching your kids because now you have to teach them. So, and then health. People have to rethink health. Like, man, we're realizing that we're not really that healthy. We need to become more healthy. So, so many things have been rethinked. So I was thinking that, like, from both sides, um, they're feeling pretty good. Scared, but yeah. So the right, they're becoming more nationalist. They're becoming more family oriented. They've been saying this for a long time that, um, well, some of them say that women shouldn't even work; they should stay home. Um, that we need to start. We need to have a traditional family, meaning like um, the woman's job is to raise the kids, the man's job is to work, and kids should be kids, and we should teach our own kids. We should homeschool our kids. We don't need daycares or anything like that. We don't need schools anymore. We'll just teach them ourselves. Teach them what we want to teach them. We have lasted a really long time without schools. Um, but civilizations have always had schools. I ain't gonna say that. But in times of war, in times of certain turmoils or whatever, we had to teach our own kids. So and 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 also the right is feeling pretty good about not bringing in so many immigrants because you would think like they they think not think that's what happened. The immigrants brought in the virus. That's who had the virus was not the immigrants but other countries. That's who had the virus. Now the conservative not conservative but the Republicans haven't been anti-immigration. That's a new thing. They have all been for immigration because it's gonna make them money. Um, it's gonna make the country money if you have cheap labor. So that's the difference between a Republican and a conservative. Conservatives don't want immigrants because they're gonna take the jobs and we're not gonna be making anything anymore. But the Republicans are different. They want immigrants because cheap labor and it's gonna make them money. And yeah, and also first of all, the Republicans are not, or you say, are not totally anti-government. They do want the government. They want the government to be just as big as the on the left. Because they want to be able to enforce things, and to enforce things, you need the government. You need the military. So they're pro-military, pro-wars, and they're pro uh, enforcing the right type of immigration. Meaning, bringing the immigrants in are gonna make us money. Don't bring them all in. Anyway, so this is what the right believes. Now the right believes that no, we don't need any immigration going on because this is what is giving us all these problems. And then all the conservatives, they're feeling pretty good because now, they're right. They was right. They're like, yeah, if right now you had a strong family structure, you should be doing okay. Like if you got a mom and dad in the house, regardless if it's just a man and a man and a woman and a woman. Well, that's not what they believe. They believe that it should be a man and a woman in the house, and you should already know how to educate your kids. You should already have several types of skills when it comes to fixing up houses and farming and all those things. You should already have them skills of knowing how to fix up your car, know how to do yourself, do your own thing. Your family should already be intact. So when any type of crisis would happen, you'll be fine because your family is strong. Now, the left believes in socialism. The left hasn't really been that socialist um, up until now. They really have become socialists. Now they're like, "What? There you go. We needed to socialize education. We needed to socialize utilities. We needed to socialize colleges. We need to socialize housing. We need to socialize healthcare. We need to go like full tilt on all these things. If we had these things in place, we'll be fine. So if a pandemic or if we find out people are sick, you know, they should automatically have access to all these, with baths or medicine or whatever they need. You should automatically have access to it. We should socialize food. Right now, you need to make a certain kind of income to get food. If you if you're below poverty, you can apply for food stamps. But if you make too much money, you can't get food stamps. So you're screwed right now. So people who have, somewhat good jobs, they can't get food stamps. So they're gonna starve. And during a pandemic, it's gonna be hard for them to get money because based on even if they're not making any money, they used to have a job. They currently do have a job that makes too much money. Not well, makes too much money to get food stamps. So the system's gonna be like, hey, you have this job at this business right here. It makes too much money. Well, he said, well, I'm out of work. Doesn't matter. You still have this job. You're eventually gonna go back to this job. So that's not good. Right? So the left are like, okay, we need to always have access to food, regardless of how much you make. So if a pandemic happens, we need to have access to food. We ain't running out of no food. I'm sorry. The one thing that we didn't run out of was food. We got plenty of food. We got grocery stores everywhere. In my city, we got like 5, 6 of them filled with food. So we got plenty of food. We need to socialize electricity, like all the utilities, electricity, water, gas. We should always have access to it. Access to it. We should have access to money. We should always have access to money. So if you need some money, there should be like an ATM where if you need some money, you just put a code in, regardless of if 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 you can pay it back or not. You should be able to have access to money. Um, you should have access to a daycare. Like if you don't want your kids at home all day, or you gotta have your kid somewhere, you should be at a daycare. Now, I think according to what the list of essentials, I think daycare is still open. But daycare should be socialized and make it affordable. Right now, it's not affordable. It's like 1,400. Was it 1,400 a month to have your kid in there? And of course, they do more things in there to educate him and all this stuff. But you should have access to it. You should always have it. Housing. The fact that we have all these homeless people walking around that might have the coronavirus, they should be in a home. If we find out they have the coronavirus and they're walking around interacting with people, we should be putting them somewhere. We should be putting them in a home so it could protect them from everybody else. So some people say, that's not a right. You shouldn't be able to just give somebody a home. That means anybody can get one. But that's not the point, you know. And also the fact that if criminals are getting a home, don't you need them in the home? If they have access to a home, maybe they won't leave the house so much and be committing crimes. So, in education, you should have access to free education. Education should be totally free. Matter of fact, kids right now, kids that are homeless, only eat at school. That's their only meal is at school for some kids. So access to free education, and also another problem is they shut down the colleges. So if your home is at your college and now that you're homeless, now that the college is shut down, where do you live? And a lot of people, some people go to colleges out of state. So where are you living if you can't go to college? If people's like, well, you could fly a plane. Go fly a plane. Well, people are scared to go on the planes. They don't want to go on the planes. And also, not all most college kids are broke. How are they flying a plane back home? Anyway, and and also most college kids have kind of like jobs at the college, or they have jobs kind of like around the college, like food and stuff, or like some of them have kind of like non-essential type jobs. Uh, anyway, and what I say, I think food is essential, but a lot of businesses are like closing early. But that still doesn't solve the fact they don't have a home. They don't have a home to go to. And if they can keep their job, they still don't have a home to go to. So what are they doing? Are they just wandering around the streets? Are they homeless? Where are these kids living? So yeah, there's like all these problems. Like I said, should have access to at all times clean water, at all times gas, electricity, internet. Internet needs to be socialized too. I don't believe I don't need to believe this or not, but this is what they believe. The left believes it needs to be socialized, so we always have access to internet, and I don't think anybody should feel bad about that. But I guess just think about it, not having to pay for internet. It'd be free, free for you. Okay. It's still gonna cost money. Okay. The problem with all this stuff is that it does cost money. But who cares? We just gave the stock market, I don't know what we gave. I think it was like over $2 trillion we gave to the stock market. Don't even know where it went. Like they said, like 50 million or 10 million went to like the Kennedy Foundation or something. What? That could have fed some people. So people are approving this bill. They don't even know where the money went. And that's why we need free education. We need to also, with the right, it may be right about. We need to educate our kids on stuff. And that's why we got too many dumb people walking around. They passing bills and putting stuff in bills, ordinances in bills, and we don't know what's in the bill. We're approving the bill, and we don't even know what's in there. So yeah, we have so many problems, and the right and the left are right about some things. The right is right that I don't approve of this, like we need to stop the immigrant stuff, but they have created some problems though. Definitely in the tech industry, they get all the jobs and we don't get any. But I would say the right is right that that we do need to have a strong family, a strong family, strong family structure. We should be able to educate our kids. Teach them things, teach them valuable things that you're gonna need if you don't have certain things. If you don't have a job to go to, you don't have a school to go to. You can't go here, you can't go there. Any places that are like, kids should be able to know how to have fun without these other things they used to do. They should be able to have their own, like, kind of like, uh, simple fun. They should know how. They should, because right now kids are bored. They don't know what to do. I mean, can kids really just be playing video games all day? What if the internet goes out? See, that's another thing. We need to socialize the internet. See how we kind of need both things. We need to socialize things and make sure that it's always there, it's always working. At the same time, we do need to have a good family structure, a good family dynamic, knowing how to work together, knowing what to do, knowing how to do things, and take care of problems on our own. Because right now, our leadership, it's just showing us that the leadership, we should not depend on it. We should, it's like it's all up to us at this point. We don't learn from this that it's really about the people. Like you say, my populace. It's really about the people who really run things. I ain't talking about the corporation as a person and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm talking about the people, actual people out here. If we don't learn that, if we don't learn this, and I don't know, I don't, because the environment is wrecked. If we don't learn from this, that we need to fix the environment, we need to socialize certain things. We should always have access to certain things. If we don't learn, and that family is important, it's important to have good friends and good family. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter if it's gay, lesbian, whatever. Because right now, gays are actually taking care of people's kids right now that didn't want them. So anyway, so if we don't find out, if we don't learn anything from this, man, we're screwed. Anyway, but if we do, we'll be all right. All right, that's all I got.